yeah, I guess of the matches, this one is probably the least likely to be going through to a tiebreaker in my mind. However, having said that, Tainted Minds, they looked okay last week against Blank Blue. We'll see if they have a chance here up against the Drop Bears. The key takeaways for me for Tainted was D-Field on the Widowmaker looked actually really, really good. And so we'll have to see if he's going to be able to pull that one out later on down the track. Probably not here on Oasis. It's going to be Farah on both sides. Color Hex, the new addition to the Sydney Drop Bears roster, did play a very, very good Farah against Blank Blue. Looking to follow that up here against Tainted
Well, that's it. If you can play it up against Blank Blue, probably you can play it up against anyone here in the Australian region. And let's kick this one off. The Drop Bears looking to 4-0. Tainted Minds, on the other hand, looking to cause a bit of trouble. We'll see whether they can be successful or not. Definitely going to take a lot of effort, and Joker going to be the first one going down. So Tainted Minds maybe with an opportunity to find the point. Yeah,
Tainted Minds just with that war of attrition are kind of winning at the moment. Sydney Drop Bears with the dive tanks and Tainted Minds with the shield tanks, the slow tanks, keeping their team alive just a little bit longer there, and obviously Drop Bears losing that first player. The Drop Bears going to need to be just a little bit more on the board here with their, or on the ball here with their dives, where Tainted Minds can play a little bit more static, sit on the point, sit behind that Reinhardt.
Yeah, and Slitzel J with the Dragon Strike available already. So so early in, you can see that one being thrown out right now. We're going to find anyone, or maybe one of those famous zoning ults, Jordan. Either way. Still 25% on the board here for TM. So
yeah, he doesn't need to get too much done with that one. Obviously, the Graviton Surge is still not up yet. It's going to be quite a while before Quad J gets that one, and Slitzel J should be able to build his in time. D-Field around on the flank, though. Yeah. Jordation in trouble.
If you can find Jordation here, it's going to be a lot of trouble as well for the Zen, but not going to be the case. D-Field going down actually to a Kraken then, so great work coming out from the Zenyatta. That DPS going through real strong. Going to follow this up right now with a couple of ultimates. You can see Carl Hex going down to Quad J right as throws up the barrage. Picks up one. Not going to be enough, but it doesn't really matter. 53% right now. Tainted Minds.
A bit of a Hail Mary barrage there, I thought, from Carl Hex. He jumped right in the middle of 3 players and expected it to work. Well, newsflash, it's not going to, so City Drop Bears actually struggling at the moment against Tainted Minds. I think it might be time for the Drop Bears just to change things up soon. I mean, they don't really have much time left to work with, but what they're doing right now is not working. They've thrown out a lot of ultimates in that last fight there. Kalahex doesn't seem to be having much luck on the Farah.
No,
Slitzel J is just absolutely dominating everyone.
In typical Australian Overwatch fashion, Jordan, it looks like maybe the first round of Control is going to go across to the underdog. D-Field will pick up Jordation.
Yeah, that's the Earthshatter barrage combo from Tainted Minds, so another couple of ultis do go down for them. Drop Bears now have the advantage economically speaking. Kalahex will be coming up on the barrage shortly. Yeah, if you can combo that with a Kraken, they might be able to make something happen here, but they need to do it very quickly.
Primal Rage is going to be thrown out from Joker, but almost goes down, waiting for a Kraken to come through with that trance as well. Not yet popped, but now is the time. You can't save it for next round. And Kalahex in the prime position potentially throw out that rocket barrage, as you were talking about, Jordan.
I don't think
you need to find the correct positioning, I suppose. And as you said, whether you need it or not, well, it's one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes we feel you're better off not even using it at all.
Yeah, that was really good from the Drop Bears. They needed to have a fight like that where they didn't utilize all of their ultimates. Obviously, they threw out Transcendence, they threw out Primal Rage, but now they've got Self-Destruct and Barrage to hold on to this point, and well, they're going to need to hold on to this point for quite a long time. So it's good that they've come through with a couple of ultimates available. Not to mention Jordation will be coming up onto the Dragon Strike fairly shortly as well, which is going to wreak havoc with this kind of ball bunched up lineup that Tainted Minds do like to run, at least what they're running right now. So they will need to be aware of that.
Oxidize going to be picked up there by Jordation, so potentially slowing down the counter push here from TM. As you can see, they only need to win one fight and do so cleanly. They'll capture the point and find themselves around Jordan. But still, a lot of work to be done here because the Drop Bears, they've got that advantage in terms of ultimate economy. And to be fair, they've probably got a pretty strong team as well. Dragon Strike comes through. Trisamal close to throwing out the Earthshatter, but unfortunately going to go down. And you can see Kalahex doing a bit of work across the board here. D-Field going to be picked up. The Drop Bears still in a pretty good position, up 50% still. 50% more to go here, but to be fair, they're looking pretty comfortable now they have control.
Yeah, and Joker has quite a lot of pressure on his shoulders because he's really the only one that can stop an Earthshatter coming down right now. And they must know that Trisamel does have Earthshatter available, so those Winston bubbles are going to be so important, not to mention the fact that Sydney Drop Bears are definitely focusing Trisamel down early in these fights just to ensure that he can't get a good Earthshatter off, and that might be the win condition here for the Drop Bears, but now they've built up so many ultimates, it almost looks like they should be able to hold on to this one.
Yeah, Joke, you can see using the Primal Rage, just slowing TM down, but TM has so many ultis to use. If they can use them in a smart manner, if they can use them economically well, they'll find themselves in a pretty good position. But Colorhex finds D-Field and still has this Rocket Barrage to use. Tainted Minds maybe aren't going to have enough time here, particularly with that barrage going out, Jordan, finding a couple of picks, including a Kraken there. So, sorry, Baby Poro even. So
what a great fight from
yeah,
Colorhex.
man, they 100 to 1 or 100 to 0 after getting 99% on the board in the other favor.
Yeah, well, that's the give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And Sydney Dropbears have done just that. That final fight from Colorhex was fantastic, getting the pick on a D field to air rockets, middies, whatever you want to call them. Very, very nice from him. And then obviously following it up with a very nice barrage as well. Great work, Colorhex.
Putting in the hard yards, John.
That's right. Pulling his weight, working hard.
All those things. Certainly is. Oh, Tainted Mind's so very close. But in the end, it really was just, I feel, the Drop Bears waiting to the right time.
Yeah, and that change up from Tainted Minds. We've got D-Field onto the Widowmaker, like I talked about. Colorhex as well onto the Widow. I don't think he necessarily was as impactful on the Widow last week as he was on the likes of Genji and Farah, but perhaps I've spoken too soon as he does find the first pick of this round. Good start for the Drop Bears. Forces the res.
Certainly does. Drop Bears on the point, which will unlock very, very shortly. And you take a look at these two lineups. You've got essentially what is dive tanks from Tainted Minds up against what is dive tanks coming out here from the Drop Bears. Let's see who plays this one better. No shields this time around. No Reinhardt to play with. And right now the Drop Bears is going to find the point to start things off. Colorhex in a pretty good position, looking to find a pick here onto at least one of those two aerial targets for now, unsuccessful.
Well, I mean, at the moment it's the battle of the Widowmakers. Whichever Widowmaker finds the opposite first is really going to be able to exert so much pressure on this map. And you can see right now Colorhex is very, very interested in finding D-Field, where on the other side of the coin we're not seeing D-Field really have as much of an impact against Colorhex. Jordation flying around the back there, still waiting for the perfect pulse bomb. But I really do think the opening is going to come from the Widowmaker picks.
Ready to throw out this Q, but as you said, got to watch out for the Widow. Jordation getting low, stays alive, round the back this time. Maybe we'll find a great spot to pick up one of these support players. D-Field, though, in the bad position right there, and Jordation cleans them up.
Yeah, it just seemed like he didn't realize that he was being shot there by Jordation, so he's been gifted a free one, essentially. Pulse bomb goes out, no connection. But it doesn't really matter at this point. No. The Drop Bears, with the picks that they've been able to get, Jordation doing a lot of work there on the Tracer, and everyone else cleaning up the damage that he's putting out, are able to quite easily hold on to the point. 54% going up. Tainted Minds now in a real spot of bother because they've allowed the Drop Bears to build up those ults. The self-destruct, the Transcendence, they're going to be really, really useful for holding on to this point. And again, I have to point out, D-Field has to get something done here on this Widowmaker, otherwise Tainted Minds are going to lose.
Well, that's it, right? If you've got a Widow that's not really doing what you need it to do, sometimes it's, you know, it can almost feel like you've got 5 instead of 6 players. If you're not finding the picks, if you're the one getting caught out, it can make it tough.
Well, it's not so much that he's not doing anything, it's just that the amount of work that you need to do on the Widow in this kind of a meta is very, very important.
And for a site ready here for Colorhex. Not yet needed, up to 87%, looking strong right now. The Drop Bears going to drop back as the Primal Rage now popped by TM, but Oxidize has gone down to Jordation once again. Jordation in the back line doing the work that you'd expect to see. Self-destruct now coming out from Shoyo, just trying to catch out those stragglers, pushing through. Not going to find anyone, but I don't think it's really going to matter, to be perfectly honest. TM, Trishmail's down, D-Field's down. The rest of the team picked up as well. This overtime going to tick away to 0. The Drop Bears going to find themselves at 2-0 here on Oasis.
Yeah, very, very easy, straightforward from Drop Bears. Obviously, you know, it got to 99-99 on the first point. But in saying that, Drop Bears, like as soon as they capped the point, it never really looked like they were going to lose it. So it was just a matter of time. It took them a little bit to warm up, you know, a couple of minutes. But this is basically the Drop Bears that we expected to see, completely dominating Tainted Minds, which is no surprise, to be honest. We need to see a little bit of magic coming out from Tainted Minds if they're going to get a map here against the Drop Bears. Again, D-Field needs to get some work done there on the Widowmaker, particularly when we start to head onto the Escort, the hybrid kind of maps, and you have those longer sight lines. Didn't see too much of it there on Oasis, so we'll keep an eye on that throughout the rest of this series.
It's one of those things really where when you go up against, you know, the top team on the ladder, probably the top team in the region, to be fair, and Tainted Minds, a team who in Season 1 unfortunately weren't able to get any points on the board. So we followed through some of the replays. Look, at least Tainted Minds gets a couple of replays on the board, but the rest of them, I suspect, after this, going to be the Drop Bears' way. However, I think it's a good opportunity to play Overwatch. You're playing the Overwatch that perhaps you don't want to play, but it's Overwatch that you need to improve at. You know what I mean? It's easy enough to play when you've got everyone's alive, you're playing the game that you want, you've got control, everything's going in your favor. But it's an entirely different story, but it's still important to be able to play when you're on the back foot. You know, up against a team like the Drop Bears, sure, maybe you're not going to be able to get the victory, but when you get those really close 50-50s, if you're better at playing a style of Overwatch where it's not the style that you want, you know what I mean, you're being forced back, you don't have all your ultimates, you're just trying to play smart economically, then, you know, that's something worth practicing, and we'll see how they go today. Yeah,
more match experience is always going to be good for Tainted Minds. I mean, obviously the same can be said for the Drop Bears, but for Tainted Minds to be able to play against a team like Drop Bears, I don't know how often these two teams would scrim each other, or, for example, how often a team like Tainted Minds would scrim a top 4 team. I know a lot of the top 4 teams do scrim internationally as well, so I'm not so sure how much time they're actually spending scrimming our local teams, in which case it might be difficult for a team like Tainted Minds to kind of catch up to that top 4. But, you know, you have opportunities like this, you got to try and grasp them and see what you can do.
Yep. Well, I guess the other thing here is looking for points, looking for map wins. You know, if you can bring something out of the back pocket, we talked about this a little bit. Sometimes it's Rialto. Obviously, Rialto, the longer this goes on, the less that's really a talking point, I suppose, right? When you get to, like, you can't be 5 weeks in and saying, well, no one's really played Rialto yet when everyone's played it every week.
I feel like we've actually had more Rialto than Route 66. Like, Rialto and Watch Point Gibraltar we've been having fairly often, and Route 66 we kind of get rarely.
Yeah, it's true.
So it is a bit interesting there now with that third option. For Escort, but regardless, I don't think it's too big of a deal anymore. I mean, the real thing for me here is going to be whether Tainted Minds can kind of knock a map off the Drop Bears and kind of ruin that perfect season, or the dream of the perfect season.
Yeah,
we've still got another couple of weeks after this one, and give themselves a little bit of an extra map on the board, which could be critical against Legacy and against Blank Blue in terms of trying to get themselves at maybe that 3rd position. Because right now, I would say Tainted Minds should probably be sitting in 4th in this group. But if they can try and challenge for 3rd, that would be obviously ideal, but they're going to need a lot of maps on the board, and they're going to need to get a win over either, well, I guess Legacy or Drop Bears today. Yeah,
and that 3rd, 4th position is a crucial spot heading into playoffs. 4th, obviously, going to play 1st seed in the opposite group, while 3rd only needs to play 2nd seed. And, you know, when you look at Group A as a comparison, there's quite a distinct difference between Seed 1 and Seed 2. Maybe between Masterminds and Darksided less so, I don't know. But
I think there is, yeah.
You'd still definitely prefer to be playing the Seed 2 instead of the Seed 1. So crucial, important points on the board here that they can get if they can pick up one of these next 3 maps. So let's go and take a look at what map number 2 will be. Kings Row, the pick of Tainted Minds.
Yeah, we've seen them play that last time as well, which they did end up losing to Blank Blue. But I think, you know, just judging by how the maps have kind of played out last week, we're probably expecting to see Kings Row, Temple of Maneuvers, and Watch Point Gibraltar as the picks here from Tainted if they do continue to lose. In which case, well, Sydney Drop Bears, we haven't seen them on any of those maps just yet. This will be the first time we get to see them on Kings Row, but admittedly they have only played 1 match so far this season of Contenders.
That's the thing, right? That I guess we are talking up Drop Bears. And to be fair, probably, like, that's a reasonable thing to be doing. They did defeat the top team in the group, or their only real competition, one might suggest, but we've only seen them play that one game this season. So, look, maybe it's just something that says more about Blank Blue than it does about the Drop Bears, and it's going to take a few more matches, particularly this one today, to see just how strong the Drop Bears are in Season 2. I suspect very, very strong, but the games are there to prove it, not for me to guess.
Yeah, it's that Widow battle again coming out here. Always very crucial on the first point of Kings Row. That's a great little bit of a... I don't know what happened there for Tristamel. He must have gotten pulled up and over or bounced up and over. I don't know. He's in a weird position. Does manage to get away with it. Stays alive for the moment.
Yeah,
look how low his shield is.
Orisa pulled over the top, I think. So,
oh, see ya.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Color Hex hits that shot as well. Tristamel's just having no fun at all. He's getting booped and bounced and pulled everywhere. And his shield's down as well, so he just gets absolutely wrecked by Color Hex. And Drop Bears exerting so much pressure immediately. We've only seen, what, 30 seconds of this game already. And it's not looking fun for Tainted Minds. When you can't even get through that gate and your Reinhardt shield is broken, you know something's not going your way.
Yeah, that's real tough, and Baby Pori going to get picked up early as well. Now, the ultimate charge essentially getting fed across to the Drop Bears. Jordation already at 80%. potential really just to finish a push straight away there with the Riptire as well, should that be pulled out, and when that gets pulled out, whether that's even needed in the next 30 seconds. All right, here we go. Jordation going to come round from behind. Finds 4. And as I was saying, one ultimate can end your push in one go.
Like, it's awesome getting 4 kills with a Riptide, but when you look at that, you're like, Tainted Minds really played themselves. They kind of walked into the closest possible angle, the smallest possible angle they could on this map, really bunched up for him. It was the perfect time for Jordation as well, because he was just coming up on a Riptire. I mean, Tainted Minds, they need to be aware of something like that, because if you continue to bunch up against the Junkrat like that, of course they're going to kill you.
Maybe they didn't expect he was going to have it so early, but hey, he's done a ton of damage already. Once again, going to go straight away round to the left, into the building, through the lobby, and round through behind. This time a little bit more successful onto the point already, but you can see Tristamal almost going down. Finally going to get finished off there by Colorhex. And now no shield to defend against, I was going to say against the Widow, but at least they managed to find a kill. Slitzel J going to find that one, but very quickly finished off by the rest of the players here from the Drop Bears. Yeah,
Drop Bears are under absolutely no pressure right now. You just look at the way that they're playing, the way that they're positioning themselves, and how aggressive they are in trying to take this fight to Tainted Minds, and you can just tell that they know that they're fully in control of this matchup. Look how far forward Jordation is right now. He doesn't have anyone there with him. He's not even got a healer behind him, and he's pushing toward the gate and just basically keeping Tainted Minds at bay by himself. Absolutely no fear. Infraside out from D-Field though. Let's see if that can make a difference. He's been getting a couple of picks, but just a little too late in the fight. This might help him to get some earlier on.
Yeah, now Drop Bears falling back and holding the far end of the point, and Colorhex going to find D-Field straight away, but Joker's been picked up. What can Jordation do? That's the real one. What are we looking for? Where's the pick? Going to find Slitzel J. Reasonable, not amazing, certainly not the 4 kill we saw before, but right now it's really about trying to clean up this push, and I think that should do that. Shoyo pushes through, finds one, actually a Kraken going to be the one to pick up Quad J there. This push will get slowed down. 50 seconds on the clock right now, not much time to work with. The Drop Bears are going to have all 6 players ready to defend once again. Tainted Minds, they've got 2 ultimates ready to go here, both the tanks. It's going to need to be something epic, though.
Yeah, not a very good fight there from Tainted Minds. Slitzel J throwing out the Dragon Strike, which he really needs right now, because Quad J does have that Graviton Surge. That's the win condition for Tainted, is to get those 2 together, and that's the success that we saw when they were going up against Blank Blue. That's where they found their good pushes. But Slitzel J's wasted his Dragon Strike, and now he has to spend time building it up again. Hopefully he's going to be able to get it in this next 20 seconds so that Quad J can make that combo happen. But if not, Tainted Minds, they might have just ruined this final fight for themselves.
Well, we're going to go into the battle. The Earth Shatter thrown out, followed up by the Graviton Surge. Tristamal has gone down, but it's 2 picks, 2 crucial picks coming out from Tainted Minds. Follow up there with the Dragons. Jordan should find TM this point. They're finally managing to get themselves a little bit of control, but it took essentially everything they had. They went all in as they needed to do. But now, they're not going to have that much time for phase number 2.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And they've thrown everything into that fight. They've only got the 1 ultimate up at the moment, and it's going to be quite a while, at least a fight or 2, before Tainted Minds get anything more than just that Transcendence. So I find it very, very difficult to predict that they're going to be able to get too far here in phase 2. A Kraken might have been able to save that last fight there for the Drop Bears if he would have had the Transcendence up in time, but unfortunately for Drop Bears, he was only on 80% or so. But it's coming up shortly. The Drop Bears now, with that self-destruct, with the Valkyrie, have a good opportunity to try and hold on to this one. The self-destruct comes out, doesn't get too much.
No, not really does all that much, but as you can see, Baby Pyro is going to pop the Transcendence this time around. Drop Bears in a reasonable position to hold this, though. I don't know if that Trance is going to be enough really to push them through. Look how far forward the Drop Bears are right now, in prime position, really pushing TM back, making room. Shoyo, however, are going to go down to D-Field, or at least lose the mech. Let's see what D-Field can do now. Yeah,
D-Field has a much better opportunity now because he doesn't have to deal with Colorhex. Graviton Surge now coming out from Quad J. The combo is there, and it's a triple kill for Slitzel J. That'll be enough to push Tainted Minds through. It took them a while to build those ultimates up, but once you have that Dragon Strike combo, it's pretty easy to kind of make things happen. Even though a Kraken has got the Transcendence there, if you've got the damage boost on the Mercy, it doesn't really matter too much. Tainted Minds will be able to push through. I'm not sure that they're going to get all the way here through phase 2, or maybe Sydney Drop Bears will give it up to them. Looks like they're going to go for the contest, but I was saying, D-Field has an easier time. Colorhex has swapped off onto the Zarya.
Jordation waiting to find this Dragon Strike. Here we go, perfect timing, combos straight through the middle there. Only going to find Tristamal, but hey, both tanks now down with Shoyo finding Quad J.
Anything you can do, I can do better. That's what Sydney Drop Bears are saying. As they throw exactly back to Tainted Minds what was done to them just before. Now it's going to be the battle of the Reinhardts. Who can get that Earth Shatter off first? Who can bait the Earth Shatter out? Joker versus Trisamail. That is one thing to mention again that we actually haven't spoken about just yet. Joker in this roster for Tainted Minds. Means that Quartz is not here. The main tank. Sub here for the Drop Bears today. He's been baited.
Reinhardt up against Reinhardt, right in the middle of the payload, Jordan. D-Field actually going to be the first one picked up. A Kraken going to throw through the trance right now. And well, this ain't looking good here for Tainted Minds. They're throwing in as many ultimates as they can as they need to, but it's probably not going to be enough. Oxidize trying to find perhaps a res. Not going to be the case. Goes down, as does the overtime. Going to get probably 90% of the way through phase 2. But one would like to think, if you're a Drop Bears fan, that they could probably achieve this. If you're on the side here of Tainted Minds, if you are a Tainted Minds player, looking to do as much damage as they can on that first phase to hold them back. Hey, full hold, Jordan, that'll do it.
Yeah, that was a pretty good defense actually from the Drop Bears. I mean, Tainted Minds, like, they haven't really got far enough. If you're playing your pub battles, Ben, you see that kind of defense, and then you're moving on to an attack. I'm sure you're feeling pretty confident about cleaning that one up, and that's what Drop Bears should be right now as well. That's not a very, very menacing kind of a distance for the Drop Bears to get to. But let's see what they go for here. Looks like it'll be double sniper. Joker, I would imagine, going to be swapping off onto the Orisa here very shortly. Tainted Minds, they'll be going for a fairly similar setup to what the Drop Bears had, though they do themselves have an Orisa, where the Drop Bears had a Reinhardt on the defense.
Other way. Did they? First point. We're pretty sure
Diva and...
Yeah, Drop Bears started off, I think, with Orisa up on the high ground.
Oh, they did have Orisa. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I do remember that. They were, my mistake.
But at the end of the day, I suspect that maybe Drop Bears can probably make either a Reinhardt or an Orisa work here on attack, should they really want to.
Incoming in 30 seconds.
Well, we just have to wait and see, don't we?
For me, I just want to see those moments of greatness coming out from Tainted Minds, improvements from Season 1, taking it to one of the top teams in the region. The Drop Bears, to be fair, do have quite a lot of support behind them. They train at the High Performance Center at the SCG, which to me was one of the major reasons that they did so well at LAN in comparison. Like a great regular season, a fantastic LAN though.
Yeah, definitely a lot of preparation went into their LAN prior. But Drop Bears, let's see what they can do here. Shoyo just charging on forward. If Pix could fly, Ben, might have already seen that first pick.
Well, look at this. The Orisa shield already going to be shattered here, Jordan. And the Drop Bears going to walk straight onto the point. Quad J getting caught out, trying to get out of dodge, but unfortunately going to be unsuccessful there, particularly when you have the ball on you as well. So that all can make life real tough. But look at this, right up in the thick of things. Everything that Tainted Minds were doing on defense has unfortunately fallen apart here. At least D-Field does find Color Hex so close, capturing with those few kills. The Drop Bears should pull this across. Quad J finally actually does go down.
Jordan doing some work right now on the Hanzo.
So strong on this Hanzo.
I was watching a video, I think it was with RQT, an interview, and RQT, I think it was, that said during the World Cup selection process, Jordan had the best Hanzo. He wasn't picked for the roster in the end because his his hero pool was a little bit odd. But they said that he had the best Hanzo of anyone in Australia right now. That was including the Blank Pacific guys. But
look at that. It's pretty good, isn't he?
Didn't have the rest of the hero pool to warrant selection. In saying that though, I mean, in this kind of a meta, if the meta persists, and I guess for Contenders, because the patch doesn't change, the meta will persist at least until the end of the season. You know, Drop Bears have the best Hanzo, and that's great.
Certainly very useful up against everyone else when Hanzo's so strong right now in this patch. Look at this, straight up into the Diva. Quad J tries to dive in, entirely unsuccessful. Now Jordation ready to go with the Dragon Strike, sends it through. The trance comes out from Baby Poro.
Oh!
Slitsaw J just, look, it's just dirty, mate. It is just so dirty.
I wish I could play Hanzo this well.
Man.
Jordation is putting on a masterclass right now. Again, another headshot. Zarya going down. That one to Color Hex, but Jordation certainly helped out. Sydney Drop Bears, they push this like no one's business. I've been monologuing for the last minute, and basically they're done with the map. It hasn't stopped.
Mate, it's like watching Legolas, is what it is, okay? It's Lord of the Rings, we're traveling through, and you just look at him, he's just hitting all of them. Standing on top of, oh, I can see something over there, boom, boom, boom. Slides down on a shield.
Very, very impressive. Very impressive indeed. Well, that's 2 maps done, Ben. It felt really, really quick. I'm astounded that we're at the half-time already.
To be fair, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a 2-0, probably the fastest match we've actually had so far in Contenders Season 2, which is, I guess, not really saying anything because we've had some very, very long matches.
Is it Season 1 all over again, Jordan?
Well,
I feel
maybe for this match it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Have a look at this. That was probably,
I
think, the individual play of the game. I mean, you can't get much better than a quad kill with a Riptire.
No, you're probably unlikely to find more than that. You'd have to normally combo it off with a Graviton Surge or something, right? Yeah, so in this case, looking pretty good. Look, the takeaways for me from Tainted Minds, obviously looking far less impressive on defense. They really could not do much.
Well, they couldn't mount a defense,
They struggled on attack as well, but there were a couple of, that last push went well. I guess they did manage to save their ultimates up and push through, and then phase 2, they did okay to get to where they did, considering they only had about 2.5 minutes. So
yeah, it can be tough sometimes. When you lose that momentum, you're on the defense, then you're trying to set up for a defensive hold, but the attackers have already pushed so far forward that you're kind of out of position, and you're waiting for your teammates, and someone gets picked, and then the map's over, basically. So I feel like that's exactly what happened for Tainted Minds. They just couldn't really get a solid defense, with the exception, obviously, of the first kind of hold on that first point. But then, apart from that, did you ever really see any sort of a defense mounted by Tainted Minds? Like, it didn't really feel like it. There was always just these little skirmishes, and in those kind of messy fights, the individual players from the Drop Bears are going to come out and just be a little bit more impactful than what we're going to be seeing from Tainted Minds. And that was evidence with, for example, Jordation just going absolutely nutso in phase 2 on the Hanzo.
Certainly did. Well, we are 2 maps through this best of 4. The Drop Bears up against Tainted Minds. The Drop Bears playing very, very well right now. Tainted Minds with a lot of work to do. We're going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, potentially 2 more quick maps. We'll see you soon.